Hello, welcome back to my channel. Happy Tuesday, my friends. I guess you're seeing this probably on Wednesday, most likely. It has been a few days since I have engaged in vlogust activities, and that's for a reason. And the reason is hormones. I think we're chalking it up to hormones. I feel like I finally figured out kind of what's going on. And you know, I'm ready to get back to it. I'm ready to like get back on track, hang out with y'all, do some vlogging. I guess I can briefly run you through where I've been though, and like where my brain has been at the past few days. Not a good place, I think is a really nice way of summing it up. But if we're gonna get more detailed, I have had some major self-esteem issues over the past couple of days, and it's so interesting to me how much self-esteem can vary day to day. I really feel like I've been in a great place mentally for the past few weeks, especially the past 10 weeks, considering I have uprooted my life almost, not even uprooted, but just changed so much about my life. But there's still moments that I have of insecurity and just like not feeling amazing. And in particular, there's just been two things that have been kind of like weighing on me. First up, we have work stuff. And I think I've mentioned it a couple times, maybe just once. I have been feeling just a little bit insecure about the stuff that I've been making. It's hard to say whether or not it's 100% the fact that I have been, not making stuff that I'm super excited about, or if it comes down more to the fact that views are kind of like down across my main channel. But I've just been feeling kind of shitty. I just have not been feeling like very successful and like I'm good at this. And I think it wouldn't weigh on me so much if I also had a full-time job outside of YouTube. But because this is kind of my everything, it's not only my job, but also my hobby. This is kind of all I do every day besides work out. And I think that tying so much of your self-worth to numbers, things that are not always in your control, can be really hard on your mental health. Makes sense? And then tying into that, I have just been feeling a little bit insecure about my body and about kind of what I'm doing there, popping in a little bit of like a weight loss talk and body image talk right here. So if you want to avoid that, I would skip ahead because this is going to be obviously kind of sensitive. The past few days, past week, not been feeling myself. And it's wild because pretty much every other day, aside from this past week, I've been feeling myself. Like this entire journey, even when my body has not been changing much, and even looking at the big scale of like what I want to do, which is to lose, I don't think I've said this out loud, 40 pounds. I've only lost 13 so far. Even though I haven't lost a ton of weight, been so confident, I have been feeling so good about the changes I'm making, because I mean, when it comes to journeys like this, I don't think it should ever be just about how you look, right? I think it needs to be you wanting to treat yourself a certain way and holding yourself to a certain standard. And for me, it's been about, I want to be a healthier individual. I want to have longevity into the rest of my life. And I also want to look and feel really good. It's important, but I think I've been getting hung up lately on how I look. Again, over the past 10 weeks, I've been liking how I look, even though that hasn't changed a ton. But this past week, I just really have not been feeling that great. And maybe even not even the past week. I think it's really the past couple of days. I have just looked at myself and been disappointed. I'm just like not happy. And I think part of that ties into, and this is probably going to be kind of sensitive, the fact that I am now the weight that I used to consider my heaviest weight. After losing 13 pounds, I'm back to my like second heaviest weight. The weight that in 2019 I was like, I can't believe this. Like, I can't believe that I've gotten to this point. Actually reflect, when I stop and think, I am very much aware that the number on the scale doesn't technically matter, right? It doesn't tell you the whole picture of kind of where you've been and what you've been going through. And most days I can remind myself that, but I think that particular number was just a little bit triggering for me. It was kind of activating these insecurities and this feeling of, I can't believe that, I've gotten to this place before, like that I had gotten past that point, that I had gained even more weight than my second heaviest weight. It just brought up a lot of feelings and a lot of things. And it's like, okay, now that I'm at this weight, I still have so much more to go until I get to where I want to be. And it's such a toxic way of looking at things. I definitely acknowledge that, but that doesn't mean that it doesn't creep into your head every once in a while. And I think that examining those feelings and working through those is really important. And I think I'm back to feeling pretty good. Maybe not like in love with, how I'm looking, but feeling a little bit better. Also, a lot of that was exasperated by the fact that I had to edit a video where I could not stand the way that I looked, frankly. And again, that doesn't normally happen to me. That's not something that normally crosses my mind. I feel like I hear sometimes people who aren't on YouTube say, oh, I couldn't do that because I don't want to have to hear myself talk a lot, or like, oh, I don't want to have to look at myself for that long. And I normally don't have those thoughts and feelings. Like, my self-esteem's normally like neutral, where I'm editing videos, but I couldn't handle it. I really couldn't handle it. And I had to, because I had to turn that video into a sponsor, but looking at myself was just kind of excruciating. And I hated that. Like, I hated that my mind was going to that place and just like not great about myself, because so much more than just about how I look. And it's okay to care about how you look. I think that trying to say that doesn't matter at all is silly, but it is more than that. And I'm trying to get back to the place where, my body image isn't like that, and where I'm just like neutral. You know, if you can't be positive, at least be neutral. Kind of related, but also sort of part of my why, I guess, behind doing this is my whole life grew up very, very thin. Didn't ever really think about my body, to be honest, until I was maybe in college. In high school, I was like, I wish I had boobs, but other than that, I wasn't constantly in my head thinking that I needed to lose weight or that I was a certain, I just didn't think about it. And I want to get back to that place, honestly. I want to be treating myself so well, and be pleased enough within my body that it doesn't take up so much of my thoughts. And I think for a lot of us, our body image and how we feel about ourselves takes up so much of our everyday that we're not able to really be present in the moment. There have been so many times in the past where I've gotten into formal clothes and I just haven't felt pretty and I haven't felt good, and those thoughts continue to spiral. They continue to be in your head even when you're at the event, you know? Catch yourself thinking, oh God, I hope like no one can see me. Those sorts of thoughts. Like I don't want that. I want to feel good about myself, but I also want to just feel neutral. So neutral that I'm not constantly thinking about my appearance and, you know, how I present myself to the world. That was a lot. But that's kind of where my head's been at. And I wanted to be transparent because I love being honest here on this channel, and I love sharing every bit of this journey because it is ups and downs. It's never going to be linear. You're never going to feel amazing every single day of your life. You're going to have bad days. You're going to have days when you don't feel positively about yourself, and having that lately. I have honestly been having that lately. Listened to Atomic Habits by James Clear for a video, actually, the first day that I was feeling like this, and I will say that that did help kind of a lot in making me feel more confident about the things that I'm doing. So many of the things that he mentions in that book pertain to how I've been living my life, and notice like some of his things he says about like getting into habits. I'm like, oh wait, I'm doing that. Habit chains or things like that. And so that felt pretty validating, but it also gave me some tools, I guess, to get back on track and to feel like I am doing the right things. If I could put a little chapter end on this section of the video, something that I kind of came to the conclusion of is that it is obviously important and healthy to explore our emotions and to be introspective, but sometimes when we have too much time on our hands, we can get into thought spirals and we can get too introspective. Hayden and I were having this conversation comparing our work. He is beholden to someone else, right? He is constantly working on other people's deadlines. His work is such that he is busy enough to where he doesn't have time to sit and think about whether his job is fulfilling or whether he is living up to his potential. Whereas my job, I'm only really technically beholden to myself. And I spend so much time thinking about like, is this really how I should be spending my time? And like, oh, I didn't finish this video, but I wanted to, I'm a loser. Like spending too much time in our heads, I think can sometimes be unhelpful. Whereas if we just shut out all of the outside noise and really get focused, we don't have to spend too much time ruminating. Again, reflection, important and good, but sometimes ruminating and spending too much time in that space is not helpful. I think that's where I'm at right now. It's good to reflect. We've reflected. We have reset. We don't need to ruminate. I'm not saying I'm not going to talk about things, because I always talk about things and I always like to get deep, but I'm trying to kind of just shut out the noise and just get back to it. One of those things too, like if you want an example of that, is I was treating my YouTube Studio app on my phone as if it was Instagram, just like constantly refreshing, going there when I was bored, and just getting disappointed that my views weren't good or that I wasn't talking to enough people because like comments rolling in, things like that. Worry about that. Why worry about something I have no control over and ruminate on that? I think that that has something to do with my self-worth when I could simply actually just work. I could read books, I could make videos and just like not think about that stuff. Like I don't need to, really. Anyway, that leads us to today. You can really tell in the background, things are a little bit in disarray. I just filmed a video that y'all see after this one, I believe. I read the most popular books from the Goodreads reading challenge of 2024 so far. I said those words out of order, but I think you get the point. I filmed, edited, uploaded that video, sent it to a sponsor. I'm feeling really good about that. I just got my shit done and didn't get distracted. And now I am going to set out to read a ton today. In addition to going to the gym at 4:30, I need to read some stuff for a KU video that I'm working on for the weekend. And also there's just a couple of books that I want to read here as well. What I'll get through, I have no idea, but buckle up because there will be some reading here in this video. And then to get back on track a little bit with like my health and fitness stuff, I am going to do some meal planning. One of my big goals when it comes to health and fitness is not just eating in a calorie deficit, eating high protein, eating high fiber, but also figuring out how to feed myself when my husband cannot feed me. He doesn't feed me all meals anyway, but I really just want to nail down lunch. I want to find some less processed options for lunchtime, not always rely on frozen food. So I'm going to sit down and try to like puzzle through that, maybe find some recipes, and maybe go to the grocery store because I kind of desperately need to. Our fridge is looking a little bit sad when it comes comes to produce. So that's the plan for today. All right, I thought I would pop in and we could talk about some books before I head to the gym. It's actually 5, and normally I'm getting to the gym at like 4:30, 4:45, so I'm feeling a little bit behind, but that's okay. I guess technically it's 4:45, so not so behind, but I am about 44% into The Luckiest Lady in London. Yeah, by Sherry Thomas. Oh, somebody has to say hi at all times. Yes. He just woke up, and that means that he needs love. And honestly, fair enough. I'm here to provide the love. This book is a historical romance novel that I am reading for the Time article, like the Time list that I'm working on. This one follows our 2 main characters who I honestly can't remember the names of because I'm listening to the audiobook. And I don't know what it is about audiobooks. Like, I definitely am understanding everything that's happening, everything that's going on, but I just am so bad at remembering character names if I listen to an audiobook. So the heroine is on the marriage mart and she needs to marry well because her family isn't very well respected and they're going to be not destitute, but sort of, if she doesn't marry well. She has a bunch of sisters she needs to take care of, one of which I believe has seizures and just needs to be taken care of basically forever. And our hero is immediately enamored with our heroine. He thinks she is so beautiful, not even just like traditionally beautiful, but like she's unique and she is interesting to him. She is not as impressed by him as other people are, and he kind of reminds me of Simon from the first Bridgerton book. He is not looking to marry, he is just trying to fuck. And I guess in some ways he kind of reminds me of Benedict, because this book has a microtrope that I fucking hate, which is in historical romances, when a hero is not looking to marry, he will ask the heroine to be his mistress. And I just can't stand that personally. It just shows an utter lack of respect. And I don't think there's anything necessarily wrong with like banging before you're married, duh. But in the context of a historical romance novel, it's not very romantic to propose that you ruin someone. So our hero is like continuing to try to get this woman to be his mistress, and eventually at this 44% mark, he has proposed marriage, and she's wondering why he's like had a change of heart, but he has his own reasons for that. And now they are not super far from their wedding date, and she, I guess, admits to him, this is kind of random, that she doesn't have very big boobs and she's been stuffing her bra. And he's like, wow, you didn't think to tell me this beforehand? And she's like, well, I was gonna be like a little freak in the bedroom so that, you know, you'd be like impressed by me, or it wouldn't be a big deal. I guess like her great aunts or something were ladies of the night and they kind of taught her stuff. I don't know. I do know he's stinking cute and delicious. I don't know, it's a fine book. I'm not like obsessed with it, but I am glad to be reading this for this video because I needed to get it read. After I get back from the gym, I need to listen to The Women by Kristen Hanna. That returns to my library tomorrow, and I need to read it for a historical fiction video I'm doing later in the month. I didn't want to read it right now, but it's just kind of like when it got in from my library, so I'll be like alternating between these 2. And then honestly, for the rest of the week, y'all, I'm going to be listening to a lot more like romance audiobooks in these videos because I'm going to be reading for my KU video this weekend. So I have a lot to work on. I have 8 books to read in the next like 4 to 5 days, so doubling up. It's gonna be an interesting time. It's always an interesting time with him though. He is just a little stinker. He will either sleep on the banquette over there or he'll sleep under this chair. And if I come downstairs around this time and I sit right here, he will hop up on my lap and request rubs and scream at me, just generally be a sweet boy. Kind of gross, but he's very sweet. I don't know what it is about his wet food, but his neck, he hears me talking shit about him, his neck gets really greasy. Even though he grooms himself, there's no food left. He do be greasy. And he do be scratching. There's a pepper. The other 2 boys are downstairs too. I don't know where. I need to go get changed. I have no idea what we're doing for dinner. For lunch, I got myself a little bit of fast food. While I was out, I got some egg whites so that I can make my breakfast bowls. I was really disappointed that I couldn't have one this morning because I need to get back to that. Like, that has been such a game changer for me. Same with my walking. As I had to film a video this morning, I didn't do my walk, but yesterday I did, which felt so good. And I did have more energy the rest of the day, which is so upsetting. Like, listen to this. My steps for today, 1,700. That's not good. I don't want to get to 10,000 steps. Like, I'm not obsessed with that, but 1,700 is just not great. Yesterday, I was at like 5,000 by the end of the day because of my morning walk and just because of the energy it gave me to do more things throughout my day. So trying to just like get back into the habits and the routines that I know make me feel good. And I know that morning walk plus breakfast bowl is just like key to success to start my day right, you know? So instead of waiting for Hayden to go to the grocery store or like me to go to the grocery store with Hayden, I just stopped at our kind of local quick mart kind of situation. We don't have a grocery store like really close to us, and I grabbed some egg whites. So I have some egg whites to add to my whole eggs for my breakfast bowl. I'll probably have that for dinner and for breakfast tomorrow because I have some black beans in my fridge that I need to eat before they go bad. So lots of explanation that you probably don't care about, but just thought I would inform you as to what my plans are. I think Hayden has a late meeting tonight. He has to give like a presentation or something to people who do not live in this country. So he will be working late. I need to fend for myself. So breakfast bowl it is. Killing a bunch of birds with a bunch of stones. I don't like that metaphor. I need to come up with a better metaphor. Okay, I'm gonna go change. I will be back after the gym and I'll let you know how that went. I am back from the gym. I had breakfast bowl for dinner and I just took my supplements, fed the cats. I'm feeling good. I know that I talked pretty candidly about supplements in my like PCOS tips vlog. I stand by that for the most part. I haven't really incorporated any PCOS specific supplements, but I do take vitamin D, a prenatal vitamin, fish oil, and magnesium for just like general life purposes. Some of those have been recommended by my doctor specifically. The only one that it hasn't been is the magnesium glycinate. I take that for sleep mostly and also for like recovery. I know magnesium, a lot of people are like deficient in it. I'm not saying you should go and take it if you don't know if you're deficient, but a lot of people are deficient in it. It doesn't really like hurt anything necessarily. It can also help with digestion a little bit. There's a lot of different benefits and each of the different forms of magnesium can like do different things for your body. I just take one of the little capsules at night and I do kind of think it's been helping me sleep better on like my lifting nights, especially to like recover a little bit better. I'm not saying I wake up with no soreness or anything, but I do find that on days when I lift, Apple Watch and my ring tell me that I don't recover as well. I think because I'm like in the early stages of my like fitness journey, your like heart rate variability, I guess, isn't as good when you first start out and it gets better over time. Anyway, I think the magnesium's helping me a little bit. I could be crazy. I wanted to pop in and tell you about the book that I'm reading. I know I said that I wasn't sure if I'd be able to finish this one, but I realized that the Women by Kristen Hanna, the one that's due tomorrow, isn't due until 5 p.m. So I am gonna read that some more tonight, but I was like, you know what, let's just finish The Luckiest Lady in London. I'm 71% in, and y'all, this book is crazy. So is Pepper, who's again back asking for rubs. This book is so frustrating. Like, hero and heroine are married. They have like a really passionate night of sex. She is excited about her marital duties, and afterwards she's like, can we do this again? And he's like, no, I don't want to hurt you, whatever, like the first night, okay. And then he kind of like starts ignoring her and like doesn't want to get close to her, and I can't really understand why. I think it's supposed to have something to do with like his background and his upbringing, but the prologue of the book that like describes his parents' relationship and his involvement in his parents' relationship, as in like kind of being between the two of them, I don't know, I don't feel like it's justification enough for how he's acting. It's just like kind of not my favorite. I don't know, he's kind of like pigheaded and she seems like a lot of fun, and overall I just feel like that's the only plot of the book. Like, that's the only thing that's really happening, is that she's the lady of the house. She's like married into the position that she like wanted to be in, even better than she expected, but she wants to get laid and he's like not really about it and not really giving her what she wants. I'm just like, okay, like that's not exciting. Miscommunication. And here's the thing, miscommunication can work sometimes in like an angst and longing situation, but like y'all are already married. Like it's not gonna work for me. I'm eyeing it because it's behind my camera. I thought I could try on camera the Enlightened cookie dough bar. I have been honestly like more in a sweet treat mood lately. I think I talked about it in a couple of vlogs back, but I've really been enjoying the Wallaby vanilla bean yogurt with like crushed up Oreos and some fruit. It fucks really hard. But sometimes I don't want to like go to the effort of preparing stuff, and so I get these little like bars. I've never tried the Enlightened brand. I normally get Yasso. Their like normal bars are great. The chocolate covered ones are really amazing. And lately, oh my god, the cookies and cream ice cream sandwiches from Yasso, they taste like Oreo cheesecake. Like, they are so freaking good. And they don't even taste like a healthier ice cream. Like, they're just that good. And it's interesting too, because I feel like ice cream didn't used to be a go-to dessert for me. Like, I'm definitely more of like a cookies, like chocolate kind of girl, but ice cream lately has been calling to me. Anyway, I heard someone say on TikTok they liked the Enlightened bars better than Yasso, and specifically liked the cookie dough. I don't know why it's blue, but I'm gonna give it a try. No, it's not terrible. And if you're someone who likes cookie dough, specifically that has like semi-sweet chips, this might work for you. This might be dark chocolate. I'm very bitter. The bar itself too doesn't have that like amazing Greek yogurty taste. It's fine, but I honestly wish I was eating another one of those ice cream sandwiches. I didn't expect to be disappointed by this, but it's just kind of like meh. I would definitely recommend Yasso over Enlightened, although I guess your mileage will vary. If you like stuff that's not like overly sweet, this could be for you. I'm not saying the Yasso ones are overly sweet either. I like how it looks like it's smoking just because of like the cold coming off of it. But I think this is probably where I leave you. I did just want to like close this off though. I honestly already am feeling a lot better. I wish I'd gone on my walk this morning because that really did help my mood a little bit yesterday, but going to the gym, forcing myself to go when I literally sat for an hour debating if I should go, was the right decision. It's always the right decision for me. Seeing myself be strong is just so empowering, and it makes me feel really good, even on the days when I'm not feeling my best. Like I felt okay today, like I felt like I looked okay, and then I saw myself lifting weights and I was like, wow, she's got biceps, and then I looked at my quads and I was like, wow, like I'm starting to get muscle on my legs, and it just made me feel good. And it's not all about looks, it's about the strength involved as well. The fact that I've been working hard and I'm getting stronger. I was able to up my weight on a couple of exercises today too. I feel good about going. I'm glad I did. I think it's obviously getting me closer to my goals, but also just like turning me into, slowly over time, the person that I would ultimately like to be. I have a long way to go, but like it feels good to be making progress, I guess, towards my goals. So temporary setbacks happen, self-esteem issues happen. Life is a constant up and down, but I am glad that I'm on this journey, and I'm glad that I'm sharing it with all of you. So hopefully I don't sound too fucking crazy in these vlogs, but such is life. Thanks so much for watching. Next vlog is going to be hopefully a little bit more exciting. I'm gonna go finish this. Love y'all so much, and I'll see you in the next one.